Hi, my name's Adam Reid, and I'm a member of CAMA. I've been a member of CAMA for a long time. I'm currently the Director of Sales and Marketing for K-Hart Industries in Winnipeg. And recently, CAMA asked me to do a blog or a video to kind of highlight some of my leadership experiences along my career path. And I've never done a video before, so I decided that I would give this a shot. So thanks for being patient with me and hopefully laughing along as we go. One of the very first leadership lessons I got was very early in my career. I took a problem to my manager, and his response was, as I outlined the dilemma, his response was, what's the fastest way to solve this problem with the least amount of hurt feelings? And that really resonated with me because what I found in a lot of situations is there's really not that many possible outcomes. So throughout my career, I've often asked someone who brings me a dilemma or in crisis saying, what is the fastest way to get through this with the least amount of collateral damage? And it's amazing how often that just cuts to the chase and we can make some decisions based on that. So that's been one of the big leadership examples that I've used over time. One other thing that I learned a little bit later in my career, but that is process and procedures. And I worked for a company that implemented ISO procedures and learned a lot about how to use those, how to make it worth your while, how to make it work to your advantage. So when someone would present a problem, I would often ask, is this a procedure or a personnel issue? If it's a personnel issue, do they have the tools for their job? Have they been trained? Do they know what they're doing? If this is a procedure issue, can we change the procedure so that this doesn't happen again? And I would use this for pretty much anything that was repeatable. And what you find over time is as you refine those processes and you share them with the group, you're going to get a lot more buy-in from everybody and your life will get a lot easier. And it's really just applying that simple premise. Was this a personnel issue or a procedural issue? Both of those are easy. You don't need to fire anybody over that, but it just helps refine what you're doing, especially in a situation where you're doing repeated processes again and again. So that's been huge for me. I learned under the leadership at Buehler Industries, the former president, he basically outlawed the phrase working on it, quote unquote. And we've all been in meetings where someone's working on it, people are working on it. That was eliminated from the culture at Buehler Industries. And essentially, we had to give deadlines. And at the time, it was a bit of a rocky road for all of us because it was just in our culture that we could just say that we're working on something. And we were genuinely working on stuff. But it wasn't necessarily at the speed that was expected. So we had to set deadlines. Any presentation that we were in had to have a deadline attached. And I have learned that that has been a huge benefit. And it's not something that you need to be a jerk about. It's just setting expectations and setting expectations up front. So whether I'm giving a presentation or I've got someone giving me a presentation with some possible outcomes, asking that question, what kind of timeline are we looking at, and setting that deadline, and then making sure you follow up. That's a huge part of this. One thing that I've struggled with throughout my career, and I still struggle, still learning this, but that's dealing with staff. And staff in particular that is maybe not a right fit. And my experience, my advice is the faster you can deal with that, the better. Set expectations, have meetings, lay out deadlines and timelines for improvement. And if you don't see the improvement, make the difficult decision faster than you otherwise would. And again, this is a skill that I'm still very much learning, very much honing. But I have learned that once that decision has been made to let an employee go, typically everyone's happier for it. The employee tends to be happier. It's less stress on you as a leader. And oftentimes you'll find out from other members of the team that, they were also maybe struggling with that person as well. So again, not an easy thing to do, but definitely something that needs to be done. Never underestimate the power of grit. That's kind of one of the last things I'm going to say. There's been a lot of times where it's easy to give up and you just can't. As a leader, your people are watching you and the people around you are watching you. And sometimes you just have to dig in and get stuff done. Do the hard job, lead by example, that kind of thing. And lastly, the other thing that I've learned, and this is a little more recently in my career, is be curious, ask questions. It's amazing how often I'm talking to a CAMA member or someone from the industry, or even someone that also does sales and marketing, and just ask them about some of their leadership experiences or leadership challenges. It's amazing how much you can pick up just by having that conversation and comparing notes. Completely different industries will often have similar issues. So I'd highly recommend be curious, have those conversations, and ask those questions, because it's amazing what you can pick up from the people around you. So, and that's about it. That's my quick and dirty, 5 points that I've learned throughout my career. Appreciate you riding through with me if you've made it this far. And once again, thank you.